I just want to say it takes so much inner strength to remain kind in a world that is not always kind. And I want to tell everyone I don't have inner strength, and that is why I've become a bit of a twat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And baby, we got some big stuff today.
There is some big stuff today.
There's some big stuff today. There's one thing that's very big. And IGN would have you believe
it's so much bigger.
That it's so much bigger than it actually is. But it is very big.
Okay.
IGN would like you to think that it's 14 stories plastered across the front page big.
I mean, for them it is. Because there are 14 stories plastered across the front page of IGN. And that is about Starfield.
Starfield released a 5-minute video this morning called Into the Starfield. And there's some news in that video. What's ironic is I'm probably going to look at the 14 IGN headlines.
Yeah, someone has it in writing at least. We did just watch the video, but who remembers things? I have a light case of carbon monoxide poisoning. I'm not expected to remember anything.
Yeah, Saige was doing some arts and crafts.
For those who came by my stream yesterday, you heard this story. I burned styrofoam, not knowing it released carbon monoxide. And at nights, I get extra sleepy now, and my brain not doing so good.
There was a weekend a few years ago where, I mean, it was more than a few years ago, but I was living in New York in my last New York apartment, and I had some friends visiting because we were going to the Blip Festival, the Chiptune Festival, and we were covering it for my old show.
Okay.
And it was snowy and it was cold outside, and so everybody was crashing at my place. The windows were all closed, and one morning we woke up really late and we were just really giggly, and we just couldn't manage to get anything done. And everything was hilarious to us. And then I went, wait a minute, and I opened a window and I was like, oh no, there's a gas leak.
Sweet.
There's definitely a gas leak. We have got to get out of here.
Yeah. There was no gas leak, just a bit of styrofoam burning for a craft project right up in my face. And now I have ordered a fancy mask. Anyways,
Starfield.
That's why I don't remember anything that was in the Starfield video, except for one specific thing, which Anthony and I both thought was really funny.
Yeah, so one of the big deals with Starfield is they were talking about the joining of factions. Of course, this is a big deal in your Bethesda games. And one of the things they were talking about is the different factions you can join. They were talking about the colonies, which is the sort of your Star Trek Federation. They were talking about sort of your Star Wars-y sort of faction, which is your space western that you can join. They talked about the Cyberpunk Corporation. And then they talked about, hey, we also have the Crimson Fleet. These are the bad guys. These are the space pirates.
The pirates!
And we wanted to make it, if you wanted to, that you could be one of the bad guys. You don't just have to interact with them. You could join them. And then one guy at the table goes, and then, like, if you're a good person and you're a good player, you could also, like, join the pirates, but then report back to the colonies like a space cop. And I was like, I'm sorry, did you say if you're a good person, you could be a narc in Starfield?
And a cop?
You could be a cop and a narc in Starfield?
Same thing, but like, my God. Literally in the video, he's like, if you're a good guy, you could be a cop. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, if you're a good guy, you could be a cop. It just turns out that historically that isn't true.
Weird how that happens.
Anyway, there was a bunch of other stuff that they talked about. I mean, I love the look of these factions, and I love the look of the universe that they're building here.
I would love to know which ones you all would join. Which faction are you going to join?
I lean towards Cyberpunk. I always do.
So these are the Frontier. The Freestar Collective is
the Star Wars.
As the Star Wars, makes sense. The Crimson Fleet, right there. Once again, the pirates. Xenofresh Corporation.
Now, this is the second corporation you can be. The one that I'm thinking about is the Ryujin Corporation, which is, I think is a little higher up, but this is a different one.
This one exists in the Pleasure City of Neon. I mean, if I'm joining a corp, that's the one.
Oh, there's Ryujin. And Ryujin, this is the most boring picture of Ryujin.
Yeah.
But it's like they showed like a neon city and everything. And then there's also the Star Trek sort of faction.
There's all of these other ones.
And I definitely am thinking I'm more in a game like this. I kind of want to be
United Colonies.
I kind of want to be the Star Trek. I kind of want to be United Colonies.
Okay.
I kind of want to be a representative of this sort of like utopian exploration sort of faction. I know that I should lean towards Star Wars probably, but you know, there are Star Wars games where you can be Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't think that the Star Wars one is the most appealing to me, which is surprising. I generally always pick a Star Wars thing. But like Frontier, not really my vibe.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have tech or pirates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not be a fucking narc about it.
Not be a narc about it. Jeez. At least IGN in their headline says you can go undercover and snitch. Like that's what they called it.
There we go.
At least IGN gets it. They were talking about sort of things that, one of the things that I thought was interesting is Todd Howard was talking about things that they put into their classic games that were a little too crunchy back in the day. Things that were sort of like, we didn't have the interfaces for them, or there were just too many mechanics for most people at that point in time because video games were a lot simpler, which I think is Todd Howard giving Bethesda a lot of credit. But whatever. I will say early Bethesda games were just too crunchy because they were too fucking crunchy.
Right.
There was more crunch than gameplay in those old Bethesda games.
Yeah.
But he did talk about how, like, okay, people are ready for this complexity in their games now, and they want it. So how do we add that back in? And in addition to the factions, he was talking about conversations and trust systems and things like that, and talking about kind of dipping back into the old Oblivion trust system where, like, you can't have a certain conversation with people unless they trust you enough. And that used to be like, well, this faction trusts you or this town trusts you. But they're like, can we get granular with that?
Which I think is really cool. He talked about specifically how there isn't going to necessarily be a right option all the time. There isn't going to be like the easy thing to say that you know won't upset somebody or you know will win them over. Like most video games have. Usually when you get options, you get inquire about more information, be polite and say yes, or be a dick.
Yeah. And then sometimes because it's Bethesda, they'll write one that sounds like you're being nice. And that'll turn out to be the dick.
Say it, you'll say it like a dick, yeah.
And it's like, that's not gameplay, Bethesda. That's lying. So there was a lot, you know, it looks beautiful. We got to see one of your robot companions. They were talking about the AI companions, and one of the things they're doing is they're 3D scanning just about everything, including your AI companions, the ones that are humanoid. They really want everything to be extremely detailed. But one AI companion we actually heard talk to us was this robot whose name is Vasco, who I believe is probably named after Vasco da Gama, the explorer, because it's about space explorers.
That's nice.
It's cool, man. It looks cool. I can't wait to watch people swim through space. You know what I mean? I can't wait to watch people glitch right off of 50 miles outside of a spaceship and die in the vacuum of space. Because Bethesda.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
On an update on a story we previously covered, the Razer Hello Kitty stuff came back in stock and I bought it. The Razer Hello Kitty
on an
mouse.
Important update.
The Razer Hello Kitty. My email's open to the right of us and I saw my confirmation on my Razer order. I ordered the Hello Kitty mouse.
Good.
Came with the Hello Kitty mouse pad.
Perfect. So that's a news update.
Just want to let you all know it's back in stock. Unless there was just one and I got it.
There was probably just one and you got it.
I just one and I got it.
That's probably what it is. In another update to something we were talking about, Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
So we were chatting about how Perfect Dark had 2 people in directorial positions leave in the last year. Dan Neuberger, the game director, and the design director, Drew Murray, both left. But then somebody did some actual journalism, which, of course, we don't do here. We don't touch the stuff. But somebody else did and checked through LinkedIn. What are you doing?
Fixing the camera just look straight.
Come sit down. Come sit down.
No.
Two major members of the Perfect Dark team left. And somebody did some digging into LinkedIn and found out way more people than that have left the Perfect Dark team. Oop. Lead level designer Chris O'Neill has left. Principal world builder Jolien Myers has left. 2 senior system designers, 3 designers on the game that were former God of War designers, and the turnover of top talent, that's the design top talent that's left. 2 senior writers have quit. The project's technical director has quit. The technical art director has quit. The lead gameplay engineer, the lead animator, the QA lead, literally all lead positions have basically left.
They've lost more employees than G4.
The initiative is now less than 50 people. 50 people. They're only advertising 3 job roles on their site, which means one of 2 things. They are trying to keep this talent bleed secret, which makes sense when you're in the middle of the development of a large title. Or Crystal Dynamics has said, don't rehire. We're going to take this over. As you know, Crystal Dynamics came in last year to work with the initiative. Dan Neuberger and Drew Murray, the two leads who left that started this story, were ex-Crystal Dynamics. One of them used to be the studio head of Crystal Dynamics. And they were so excited about Crystal Dynamics coming and taking over. But then, apparently, something happened and everybody left. Which means Crystal Dynamics is probably taking a much stronger lead on the project than people initially thought they would. Crystal Dynamics is kind of taking this over. And, which, yike. Yike.
It definitely makes me worried. It makes me worried for something larger because that many people don't leave because they're just like on to better opportunities. Like, you know, there has to be a fundamental issue in the process right now that is making people like that's not an easy decision to make.
No.
Especially in an industry like this.
Especially in a lead position. And you're right to think that because doing some digging, Video Games Chronicle found out that even though the initiative's website claims that the company promotes a collaborative sort of flat structure environment, ex-employees are saying that it's very much top down. Basically, these 2 guys from Crystal Dynamics, Neuberger and Gallagher, came in and wanted to run it like a classic game studio. And all of a sudden, all of this flat structure where everybody had equal say and it was a collaborative environment became, no, we're the leads, implement this the way we say to implement it. And everybody said, well, eat shit.
Yeah.
And the 2 of them probably left because nothing was going to get done under them and people hated them.
Do you think the game will still happen?
Now, that is a great question. It's hard to say. A lot of money has been put into this. Crystal Dynamics is certainly interested in the franchise. I know Microsoft is interested in the franchise coming back. I think what we're going to see is Crystal Dynamics taking this thing over and putting a spy skin over Tomb Raider. I think that's what we're going to see.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Instead of developing an actually new original game, I would agree that that's probably the next step. To make sure that it doesn't bleed any more money.
Yeah. Yeah, they've definitely got
that list.
Oh yeah,
because that list is so fascinating looking.
Here's the Perfect Dark dev team. Of course, everything that is struck out is they left.
Wow.
Lead level designer, associate design director, senior systems designer, principal level designer, senior designer, world builder, gameplay designer, systems lead engineer, associate technical designer, director of narrative lead, technical director, lead systems engineer. These
holy
are
shit.
These are huge. Principal lead online services engineer.
That
You don't
means
want the-
it sucks.
You don't want the head of your multiplayer and online to leave. You've got your senior shader engineer leaving. That's bad. Senior producer, QA lead gameplay animator, ex Naughty Dog. How are you going to tell a Naughty Dog animator that their ideas are bad?
Yike.
How are you going to tell a Naughty Dog animator, no, do the character animation the way we say?
Yike. They had a lot of people that were from Naughty Dog.
Yep.
Fascinating.
They had some people from Bend. They had people that used to be at Insomniac. They had they've got a lot of talent over there. And when you're promised, when you come from these giant teams, these giant first-party teams, and you promise a more flat
structure
that allows you, as somebody who worked as a member of 1 in 1,000, on one of these Naughty Dog games or whatever, and you say, no, come, we want to take your expertise and we want this to be a little more collaborative so you don't just feel a cog in a machine. And then you show up and everybody's like, now get in the machine, cog. You're like, oh no.
No, thank you.
Oh no. So yeah, it looks like only lower level talent is left. And Crystal Dynamics is probably going to send their people to take over those higher positions.
I can no longer view. I wanted to get to this random Jackbox story. I can no longer view Rock Paper Shotgun, even if I turn off my ad block. It says turn off your ad block.
Well, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
So I want to say this is not really a Jackbox story. This is a story.
I'm signaling it to you. Pardon.
Huh?
That was just to you.
Oh, okay. But there is some very interesting news that I thought kind of sounded cool in a Jackboxy sort of way. RiffTrax has a video game coming out that is a collaborative party game where everyone comes up with their own jokes over bad movies.
Yeah, that's great.
So basically, they're taking a bunch of public domain movies and then, easy to license movies. You all join up. The movie plays to a certain point. It stops. Everybody puts in their idea for what the one-liner is. And then you all vote on it. I love this.
I also love this. This is a great party game.
This is an amazing party game.
Do you think it'll catch on? Because here's the thing that I've learned is these like comedy-based social games do not work in every circle. But like we're in an entertainment circle. All our friends are professional improvisers. So like this shit slaps with our friends.
Oh, but I mean,
our friends get into it.
But here's the thing: even if your friends aren't hilarious or whatever, or you're not professional comics or whatever, I mean, most of the Jackbox games are based on coming up with something funny or coming up with even like the shirt designing one is like. It's just about being weird and silly in the moment. And, and I love this. Everybody loves yelling over movies,
Love to yell over a movie.
This is going to be very, very good, I think. So this is Wide Right Interactive. These are the people that made What the Dub. They are now teaming up with RiffTrax to make RiffTrax the game. And of course, RiffTrax is ex Mystery Science Theater. People who still tour around, who still release movie riffs. I think this is just such a fun idea. And adding the RiffTrax license to this just makes it so much huger for so many people.
I'm not familiar with What the Dub. What's What the Dub?
What the Dub is basically the same thing, but no RiffTrax.
Oh.
No RiffTrax and a more limited sort of library. Adding RiffTrax allows them to have like the RiffTrax, the actual riffers from MST3K doing stuff over it.
Yeah.
And also allows them to use licensed films.
This is great.
It gives them a little bit more money.
Huh. All right. I'll throw that in my Steam cart real quick.
Yeah. So that's exciting. That is exciting. And I love that, this is going to reach so many more people just because it has that RiffTrax name on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't familiar with What the Dub, but King Sassafras in the live studio audience was like, is this the same people that made What the Dub? Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah. Very excited. Let me see if we have if we have a release date or anything on that. It should be fairly simple for them to do. 5th of May. Oh. Revenge of the 5th.
They're going to compete with the not news day for Star Wars?
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
The day that Star Wars doesn't acknowledge? How dare. I would like to talk about an upcoming release that I'm personally very excited about, Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Yeah.
I have been waiting for this game. I'm a big Borderlands fan. I think this game looks absolutely fantastic. They've made a lot of great adjustments to Tina. I'm super fucking pumped for it. And up to this point, PlayStation has been saying, crossplay, not really our thing. All of these games, I had to actually plug in a PlayStation to play Borderlands, you know? Mm-hmm. At the time, no thank you.
No.
I don't want to have to plug in a console. And now, Tiny Tina's Wonderland is supposed to be crossplay.
This is huge. This is absolutely huge. Now, whoever is in the lead is always the person who says no crossplay. Xbox used to say no crossplay.
Right.
Now Sony says no crossplay. PC games are always like, I don't care what you do with this game. Hack it to hell. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, whatever.
What is this? Put Batman in this game if you want. I don't care. Sony, of course, has been a little about crossplay.
Yeah. With many of their games, not just by any means Borderlands.
I mean, I think Sony is the reason why we have Destiny 2 cross-save and not cross-play. I genuinely do. Sony paid a little bit of money for some exclusive Destiny stuff, and they were like, that, you play with us. But this is huge. It's a big deal. I mean, because you're talking obviously Gearbox doesn't give a shit. A sale is a sale.
Right.
2K Games doesn't give a shit. A sale is a sale. Now, 2K Games may have some like, if there's any exclusive content on a particular console or something like that, they may be like, well, let's not do it. Let's not, let's not rattle anybody. The platform holders hate it. Mm-hmm. So to get 2K and Sony to sit down and agree to do this is absolutely huge. Absolutely.
I'm very excited about it. Are you planning on playing?
I'll probably play it. Look, I'm planning on playing a lot of things.
Sure. Not sure how realistic it is.
You know what I mean?
Did you play Borderlands 3?
No. I watched some people play Borderlands 3 and I was like, yeah, that's Borderlands.
I co-opted and I had a wonderful time.
I think with Borderlands 2, I really enjoyed the narrative at the time. Mm-hmm. And the game was good, but it wasn't really my thing. I liked playing it co-op, but it's not a game where I got to sit down and I absolutely have to play it. What I do like about Borderlands 3 is they added more than 3 colors to it. That was great. Mm-hmm. That was lovely. Big upgrade. They had over 4 colors in Borderlands 3.
So true.
But I don't know. And Blade of Creation is saying those Borderlands 2 jokes have not aged well. Yeah, well, that writer has not aged well, if you know what I'm saying. Moving on. GTA 5. You gotta buy it again.
No, I'm not gonna buy it
Listen, you gotta buy it again.
No, I've already bought it 3 times.
You gotta listen. It's out on the next gen, and it's time to buy it again. Everybody. It's time to buy it again. Now, IGN actually did a comparison here for these next-gen console releases about load times. Now, GTA 5 on consoles is a rough experience as far as load times go.
Oh my God, it is. Especially, if you want to play GTA Online.
Oh my God. It is a fucking...
On PC, it's a wild time, honestly.
Dude, I've watched... Do you remember Funhouse used to do, like, weekly GTA 5 videos? Mm-hmm. And... sometimes half the video would just be them talking while they were trying to load into GTA 5 Online.
We used to stream it sometimes for a show that I would do, and you would have to start loading in before the show started, so that by the time you got through all of your intro and your talking, maybe you'd be in the game.
Maybe, but you're not probably. And then even in campaign, like restarting a mission was so painful. You know, something like, what was it? It was like a minute and a half or something to restart a mission. So it was freaking crazy. They found out, IGN, as they were testing this, Grand Theft Auto 5 loads over twice as fast on PS5
Now it's only 7.5 minutes.
than PS4. It's only one lunch break. You can now say, I'm gonna play a little GTA 5 at lunch. Turn on the console.
And by the time your lunch is
And
over.
by the time your lunch is over, you can actually see your character in the game.
Wow.
Whereas before, you were still loading. It auto-saves a load file at around 20 seconds on the PS5, when it took over 2 minutes to load an autosave on the PS4. So that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Also, restarting missions takes 5 seconds now, they say.
Okay, that's good.
I can deal with that. That's still a little last gen.
It is, honestly, just to restart a mission.
To restart a mission.
When we've got games with no load times. When you've got your Spider-Man games.
You've got Spider-Man. I never saw a load once.
Right, Miles Morales, no menus.
Nothing.
No load screens.
And here's the thing. You've been pushing this same product for a decade. Mm-hmm. Almost a decade. You've been pushing this same product. You haven't optimized it over that time?
And you're asking me to buy it a fourth time?
You got to buy it 14 times? Now, of course, as we mentioned, if you are buying it on the PS5, for the first 3 months it's available, you can have it for $9.99. For the Xbox Series, it will be $19.99 for the first 3 months. After that, it's $40.
Boo, $40.
There's no way. And people are like, well, how's GTA 6 doing? And they're like, we're printing money. Oh, we're working on GTA 6 after the money printer breaks.
Yeah. And it's not.
It's not going to break.
A bunch of people are buying it. Even a bunch of BBs in the chat were like, yeah, I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of games that everyone bought, let's talk about a little bit of Elden Ring. New big game means new big bugs, and that is my favorite part of a big game release.
Oh, and From Software has some tasty... Listen, From Software is the original bug snacks, you know what I'm saying?
Tasty bugs.
Tasty bugs all up in their games. And this is an article by Ian Walker over at Kotaku. Thank you, Elden Ring players, for all the messages leading me to cool bugs. People really do love the messaging system in a From Software game.
Yes.
They love the help, the helpful hints, the misdirection, the hilarious jokes about having no maidens. All of these things are part of the messaging system.
I love a bug.
But the favorite messages are the ones that lead to bug. Look at this. Bye.
Pew.
Come on, you can do it.
I like a bug. Look, there are no cyberpunk bugs. But it's all walls for some reason, too.
I mean, a lot of them are walls, yeah. But some of them you can actually, like, jump through and get other places. But I love that people are like, it's always try jumping. Whenever I see a try jumping...
You know there's a bug.
I'm just so happy.
You know, you've come across a kind citizen trying to show you a bug.
Try jumping is the note that hilarious hijinks are about to happen in an Elden Ring game. Here's one that was in the
so loud.
that was in the comments.
Oh.
Where you're actually inside the geometry.
Uh-oh.
Try jumping. Listen, an open world
Jump into the Matrix.
An open world is very new to From Software, okay? The fact that they're loading more than one area at a time, very new and confusing to them. And so I love this. I love that you get just close enough to where it's like, oh, I gotta load the next area.
It's like, hold on, slow down. Please don't try jumping.
Don't try jumping. No, I read a message in the ground. It says try jumping.
No, stop jumping.
I love it. In other Soulsy sort of news, did you ever play Ashen?
I did not.
Ashen was a Souls-like that was very popular a couple years ago by A44. Great studio. Really fun kind of take on the Souls thing. It had that sort of like an almost Fortnite-y semi-cartoon look to it.
Yeah, full screen. That's weird. We're doing great. Oh, I love what it's doing. Anyways.
But this is their new one called Flintlock.
This looks beautiful.
Yeah, Ashen was a gorgeous looking game. The thing about Ashen, and I've talked about this before, all a game that's a Souls-like has to do, really, for me, is just have a nice aesthetic, and I'll play it. Because up until Elden Ring, the only From Software game that had an aesthetic I enjoyed was Bloodborne.
Okay.
The rest of it is all just like rusty knights in castles. And I'm just like, no, thank you. And this starts out very much that way.
No. Cool magic, cool lady, cool fox creature.
You got a cool little familiar there.
Fox raccoon? Doing magic? Consuming a soul?
But also, we steampunk now, boys.
Ugh. I'm so in on this. This looks fun as hell. I really like the universe that they set up, and this is not a long trailer, and they did a lot with it to set up a really interesting universe. And I'm not typically a Souls-like player.
Yeah.
It's a little more difficult to get me interested in that genre of game.
Fight that.
I mean...
Fight it.
That's really cool. And it also says 2022. Which is very impressive, being that this is the first thing we're really seeing about it.
Man, these
it's coming out this year.
These small teams, man, they keep it quiet.
We love a small team here. As a small team,
it's going to be lovely. I'm very excited for it. Keep an eye on the at Play Flintlock on Twitter or just A44, so you can see what's going on with all that. In other, well, this is news about something now. Look,
yeah,
we don't promote Kickstarters here. Kickstarter, as we all know, you can get nothing out of it. So we're showing you something that's a cool idea. We're not saying run and buy this thing, but we are saying take a look at it because I think it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
This is Genki. Genki made the travel dock.
It's a funny word.
Genki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to say.
It's fun to say, Genki. Rip to Genki Studios. But Genki made the portable switch dock, one of the first like little just plug-in switch docks that's just like an outlet with an HDMI and a USB.
Yep.
They make some other great stuff. They also made the lag-free Bluetooth adapter for the Switch before Switch opened up Bluetooth audio. And this thing that they're trying to make right now is the Genki Waveform. And the idea with this is you connect it to 2 devices at once. I have wanted this forever.
Yeah, obviously, as people in production, this is like super helpful for us, but like we won't bore you with the ways that we would use it. But I will say one of the most practical uses that they're showing here is Nintendo Switch Online. If you're playing a game with anybody, you know that you have to get on your phone and you have to not call them, but get on the Nintendo Switch Online app to talk to them. And then you're like, hello? Hold on. Yeah?
Hello. Yeah, are you building a house? I'm building a house.
And it sucks.
The worst was doing it during Splatoon. Like during Animal Crossing, it was okay. It was fine.
Because like you know, your hands aren't really.
Yeah, and you can also just wear earbuds and not listen to Animal Crossing if you need to. But Splatoon was rough. So
and going to continue to be on the new Splatoon.
Yeah. So this is great, but it's also great for people who like, I want to be able to hear my phone while also playing a game, or you know, any of this stuff that you would want to share 2 devices for is really nice. So I like this idea, and it feels like something that most headphones should just have as an option if I want to.
I agree. It doesn't feel like it should be as like groundbreaking as it is to exist. It's very strange to me. Yeah, good for streamers is exactly what I was thinking. As like people that do many live productions, it would be super fucking helpful for me. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, they showed a guy who was an audio engineer in a studio listening to the engineering mix while also being able to get notifications from his phone without fucking with any. There's so many professional uses for these. And I love that they're just like, they're kind of stealth launching it as like, here's a fun thing for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we're thinking about. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I have a feeling those are gonna fund really quickly, and then we're gonna see Genki Waveform Pros. We're gonna see like large format Genki Wave. You know,
Yeah.
I think this is a big move for them.
Yeah. Should we get into the biggest news of the day?
Yes. What is the biggest news of the day?
It's Miss Marvel, baby!
Baby! Kamala Khan has finally appeared to us.
Y'all,
As
we've
though
been
in a dream.
waiting. We have been waiting. We are going to watch the trailer with no audio because we like our show to stay up on the internet.
Yeah. Marvel's pretty chill usually, but they use a song from The Weeknd. Imagine like... I love this whole style.
I love this so fucking much.
I wonder how much of this style, the cut paper, seeing people's thoughts, seeing those horns, like how much of that is going to actually appear in the show.
God, I would love for it to. I didn't anticipate that it is. I'm trying not to get my like hopes set on that, but I mean, I loved this character. God, what is the young actor's name?
I don't know.
Could you look it up?
Yeah, I have no idea. But she's great. She seems perfect.
The scene sitting with the counselor just was absolutely fantastic. I do agree. The style is very Scott Pilgrim.
Iman Vellani.
Absolutely, genuinely
Iman
phenomenal
Vellani.
so far. Such an interesting, like...
Now, this is interesting. Definitely a change of the origin, a change of the source of power.
They did do that, which obviously connects better to Captain Marvel, which... makes sense.
Yeah, in the comics it had a lot to do with the Inhumans, and obviously the Inhumans did not do well.
Right.
On
She's
TV.
a little more stretchy and a little less celestial.
I think we're going to see more stretchiness. I think they're hiding that a little bit. Because that is like, it's projecting, but it's still stretchy.
Yeah.
I think they're hiding it because it's going to look a little silly and they want you to like the character first.
Interesting. I think that I agree that they're saving some of it, but I think it's still going to be in that kind of like projected celestial way.
I think so too, but it's definitely cartoony. It's a cartoony look and they want you to be like, it's just Marvel action right now.
Right.
Don't worry about the fact that somebody stretches like Gumby. And here's the other thing. You got to get used to people stretching like Gumby. We got the Fantastic Four coming. Gumby all over the place. Maybe that's another reason, too, is they wanted to differentiate a little bit from Reed Richards.
People did say that, and I think that that's entirely possible. What I found really interesting about this is they did a really good balance of making a Marvel movie and also like a teen coming-of-age movie, which we haven't really seen from Marvel yet.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the story.
We should say it is a series, not a film.
I'm sorry.
But I understand the styles that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like every Marvel thing. Marvel is very good at making something that number one is for everybody, which is hard enough to do on its own.
Right.
But then also being like, this is for everybody, but this is the core audience that we want for it. And we want to make sure that we're doing enough for them so they know that we're doing it for them. And this one is obviously targeting a younger audience than Marvel normally targets.
But in a way that I feel like is really interesting. Like, I am a 26-year-old woman. I do cringe at watching teenagers do anything.
Sure.
Especially when adults write teenagers. And when you're watching this, you're like, wow, this seems like just a real teenager. And I'm so okay with that. And it's so comfortable.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool. And I like it a lot.
I like it. I like it too. I'm very excited. It's coming out June 8th. We have the date now. I love the Miss Marvel comics. If you are not super familiar with Kamala Khan, it's very easy to jump in. She's been around since, I want to say like 2014, 2015, something like that. And you can just grab the first omnibus of Miss Marvel really inexpensively, either in paperback or on Comixology, for as long as Comixology still exists, or Marvel Unlimited. It's really inexpensive all the time, and it's like you immediately get caught up because it's such a new character, and that's one of the things that I love about it. So if you're unfamiliar with Kamala Khan, just jump in, get the Miss Marvel Omnibus Volume 1.
I'm very excited about this. This was one of those trailers that like hit for me harder than a Marvel thing has in a while.
Yeah.
I think. And like all Marvel hits hard. I'm a Marvel fan, but
Well, you think about
very cool.
You think about stuff that's like super popular right now, and there is a lot of like The resurgence of the teen drama and the teen drama show is huge right now. And doing it in a way that is way more respectful than they used to be and way less corny than they used to be is very big right now. You think about like how many awards Euphoria takes home and all this stuff, and the way the tone of like CW and Netflix stuff has been changing, and is like the teen drama is huge and the teen love story is huge right now.
Right.
And doing it in a Marvel way and doing it in a respectful way at the same time, get the fuck out of here.
It's just a cool kid.
Get the fuck out of here. It also just opens up the door to a whole new generation of Marvel characters, right? Like, we've got She-Hulk coming.
Yes.
But how far away do we think like Amadeus Cho Hulk or the Hulkling are? How far away are we? Because Kamala Khan very quickly becomes a member and the leader of the Champions. So the Champions have like a bunch of them. It's got like Viv Vision and Miles Morales, and like all of these people are part of the team. And it's like, yes, let's go introduce this younger generation.
Yeah, America. How old is America? America's young in the new.
Yeah,
they're starting her young.
Well, when America Chavez first showed up, she was definitely supposed to be a teenager. I think in Doctor Strange, she's a couple years younger than I would have expected, but not by much.
Yeah, she's just a teen. She's just a kid.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. Squirrel Girl. Oh my God. From your mouth to God's ears. I can't believe how close we were to Squirrel Girl a couple years ago. Ugh. We could have had it all.
Yeah.
It was too early. The brightest flames. Squirrel Girl.
I think it could still come back around.
I think it could too, but it's a bummer because it's Milana Vaintrub as Squirrel Girl was so inspired.
Right.
And like now it would obviously be somebody else, and I'm sure they'll find somebody wonderful as well, but I'm bummed that we were robbed of that.
Here's why I think it'll come back around. Every man between 30 and 45 in Los Angeles has an idea for a Squirrel Girl script. I'm serious. Everyone I've ever spoken to thinks they're going to write Squirrel Girl or thinks that they should write Squirrel Girl. So they'll do it at some point. Unfortunately, a man will write it.
Some man will rise to power and make Squirrel Girl.
But man, every fucking one of them. I'm not kidding.
It's the Ryan North of it all. It's the fact that Ryan North wrote Squirrel Girl, and every dude from like 30 to 45 also is obsessed with Ryan North because of dinosaur comics and just that style of humor.
Cognoggin in the live studio audience said, "Hello, nice to meet you. Have you read my Squirrel Girl treatment?" Basically, yeah. That's what it would be like if I was on Tinder.
That's just the first. That's just the first line. Like, tell me a little about yourself.
Hello, nice to meet you. Have you read my Squirrel Girl treatment? Phase 4 is getting weird and I'm here for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, the moment they said, we're doing the one with the talking tree and the raccoon, I was like, we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's happening.
We're getting into the good stuff.
It's getting weird, and I'm excited for how weird it's getting. Dude, and we are just days away from Moon Knight, and that's going to be a whole new level of weird.
Yeah, it is. I'm very intrigued. I am so skeptical about Moon Knight. I can't speak this morning. I am very skeptical about Moon Knight, but I'm very interested. I'm very excited about it, but like,
they're saying
cautiously.
They're saying all the right things. Oscar Isaac really talked a lot about getting the mental health aspect of it right, and that's the part that I'm obviously the most on the fence about. Moon Knight's got a lot of
that is definitely what makes me the most skeptical.
Moon Knight's got a lot of issues that need to be dealt with,
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do an excellent job with it. Marvel has taken a lot of things and a lot of characters that I've been skeptical about and just done them extremely right.
Yeah.
So they've got enough of a track record with me where I'm like, yes. And also I have to believe in Moon Knight. I have to. It's so important to me.
I know it is.
And I never thought we'd get here.
It's Oscar Isaac.
I never thought
There's every
we'd get
reason
here.
to have hope in Oscar Isaac. Anthony, I finally watched Turning Red.
Oh, what'd you think?
It's so fucking cute, you guys. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch Turning Red. It's so fucking cute. It's so good. The characters are so excellent and sweet and weird. It is a goddamn delight.
Yeah.
It's really good. Watch it.
I'm glad. It looks really good. I haven't been watching, like, if you ask me what I've been watching or playing lately, it's been like, I have no idea.
No idea?
Not really.
What have you been doing?
I don't even know, man. It's one of those weeks. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's one of those months where it's like, I know I'm getting stuff done, so that's good. But it's sort of fugue state.
I just happened to have had Twitter open, and I saw that a BuzzFeed article was trending about the incredible cast of Turning Red. But also, in opening up Twitter, I must remind you all that the story we covered on Monday about Domina, the game that was slipping just horrific, misogynistic, and dangerous anti-mask bullshit, weird fucking wannabe alpha male guy stuff, into their patch notes on their game on Steam.
Real Sigma mindset in the patch notes, boys.
Really gross. It's like, approach a woman at the grocery store. What are you afraid of getting laid? I was balls deep in my wife when I wrote this. Just a nightmare of a man, a whole nightmare of a man. I tweeted out during the show, which I showed you all on Monday, hey, Steam, maybe we can finally remove this game because this is dangerous disinformation. Didn't tag the game, and yet that guy be sitting there searching his game's name, and he has been consistently tweeting at me and people in the replies to my post for like 16 hours.
This dude has been spending his entire, like, when you look at, and he's doing it from the official game. Anyway.
And he's deleting old tweets too. He's deleting some of the replies.
He's been brigading people. He's doing, he's like, whatever this dude does all day, what he basically does all day now is search his game's name and yell at people. And he's doing all of this, like, very standard fucking internet conspiracy theorist, misogynistic disinformation dude, like, bullshit, where he didn't specifically say the mask mandates are a lie. He said, take off your mask, don't believe the lies. And so people are like, you're saying that mask mandates are a lie.
And he's like, where? Show me where.
He's like, where did I say it? Oh, where did I say it? Like, what is the thing that the thing that bums me out the most is, well, there are a lot of things that bum me out about it, but one of the things that bums me out about it is the fucking cowardice and the belief that I'm so clever that I didn't say exactly what you know I said, so there's nothing you can do to me. That's not true.
He's being like, show me. And then people post a screenshot and he just moves on to a different thread and he's like, show me where I did something. Also, when I acknowledged him initially, I shouldn't have, and I know that he didn't deserve it. He came up in my like see more replies. I had to click see more, so I did respond. I had to click see more tweets to even know you were speaking.
And he was like, oh, it must be a Twitter mistake or some sort of Twitter error.
Tell him?
It's just like, no, dude, the error is that you're still on Twitter.
And I said, maybe it was the misogyny and disinformation about masks. He said, show me the disinformation about masks. Fine with the misogyny.
Yeah. There were so many people that were like, misogynistic, misinformation. He's like, where's the misinformation? And they're like, so you're just blowing by the misogyny? You're like, oh, no, I'm so misogynistic, I don't even respond to that as a complaint.
Has Steam done anything? No. In fact, Steam actually went through and removed some of the negative reviews that he's been getting review bombed with.
That's interesting.
Not a good move, Steam. Don't love that.
Don't love that, Steam.
Not a big fan. I know that he is getting review bombed, and also these are not necessarily all about the game, but if this is the patch notes in your game, we're not talking about something he did off platform. We are talking about the patch notes in the game. Those reviews are well deserved. The recent negative reviews are just getting removed. So
if you are negatively reviewing the game, we want to make sure, apparently the reviews, the review team for community apparently goes to those before they take care of any serious complaints. What a shock, what a surprise. If you are leaving negative reviews for Domina, make sure, number one, that you've bought Domina, and number two, don't buy Domina, but make sure that you bought Domina in the past. If you bought Domina in the past, go leave a negative review. Leave a negative Yes, leave the negative review. Make sure that you talk about the game, and make sure that instead of getting into personal insults, which I understand, I'm about, I love to personally insult a fucking douchebag like
Right,
this.
like I think he's a piss baby.
But don't put that the developer is a piss baby. You have to put down the developer is spreading misinformation within official game communications and blah blah blah. Like make it a real make it a real review that they can't take down.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. Also, you can report the game on Steam.
Yeah.
I reported the account on Twitter for spam and harassment because they've been blowing up all of our replies for 16 hours, and Twitter said, not an issue for us. So,
unfortunately, the sea lion thing is not something that you can respond to. Like Twitter just doesn't accept that. They're just like, oh, you could mute. Yeah, thanks, Twitter.
Yeah, thanks Twitter.
Thanks for being the shit that you've always been.
This is actually harassment, but you know, cool. Thank you so much, Twitter.
Cool. Thank you so much, Twitter. Anyway, Domina, guy's a douchebag. Got a little more Elden Ring news.
Oh.
That Elden Ring is doing so well. So very well that in the less than a month since it has been released, it has sold, there we go, 12 million copies.
That's a lot of copies.
Now, to let you know how many copies that is,
please.
If you were to lay them end to end, no. Dark Souls 3 sold 10 million copies in 4 years. Elden Ring has sold more in less than a month.
Wow.
2 million more copies in less than a month than Dark Souls 3 sold in 4 years. Dang. People love to catch those fingies.
Fascinating.
This is
I mean, that makes sense.
thing.
Like the game has by every show of proof been the biggest fucking thing in the world right now. But I think there's bigger Elden Ring news.
Well, let me finish this story first.
Not done? Okay.
Let me finish this story first. And so because it has done so well, this is definitely the biggest thing that Elden Ring, that From Software has ever done. Mm-hmm. They're going to do like a whole bunch of Elden Ring spin-offs and fucking, like they're doing World of Elden Ring now.
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be Elden Ring as far as the eye can see for the next few years for From Software. They are talking about expanding on the IP and producing more work related to the game in hope of expanding beyond the realm of games. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be the first time, in addition to just making sequels and DLC, From Software is really going to lean into, let's do the comic books. Can we do an animated series? They've never really looked at this before as a studio, which I think is fascinating because so much of their stuff has like incredibly weird, deep lore that you could go into, incredibly weird, deep, rich worlds, and just the sickest character designs.
Yeah.
You could do so many things with the Souls world. Or Bloodborne, I would have loved to have seen some stuff, like some Bloodborne stuff. I think
in addition to this being like the biggest fucking game in the world, I think it's also a sign of the time as well. Because when you've got Gearbox, 343, Naughty Dog, all doing these like television shows and productions around it. We got the Uncharted movie. We got all of these things. It is the first time in games history that is a part of the process, really.
Yeah, where as opposed to being an afterthought, right? Like, I guess this game is so popular, we have to make a movie about it.
Exactly.
Just make some shitty movie so the kids go see it.
Right. But, I mean, these are some of the biggest things in the world right now. Obviously, we're talking about Halo series nonstop. We're talking about Uncharted. We're talking about Mass Effect and that
Uncharted movie kind of fell on its face, though, huh?
Yeah,
that didn't do too well. Did you see it?
They got Spider-Man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
Wasn't going to a theater yet.
I didn't see it. I wasn't going to go to the theater. The CEO of Bandai Namco, Yasuo Miyakawa, said, "Much effort was placed into creating Elden Ring so that we could exceed the expectations of our fans worldwide. In like manner, we will continue our efforts in expanding the brand beyond the game itself and into everyone's life. Everyone's daily life. Wake up in the morning, think about a cursed fingy. You could have like little cursed fingies like as hooks to hang things. Cursed fingies everywhere. Buy yourself some cursed fingies.
You can have a little as a treat.
You can have a little cursed fingies as a treat. Okay. Tell me about the very good and important Elden Ring news.
Panties.
Deathbed Smalls is actually my hip-hop name. How did you know that? I released a mixtape under Deathbed Smalls.
Elden Ring has panties. You could get panties. Now, you cannot get it without a little bit of cheats, but it is something that was found within the game that seems like it was cut from the game at a relatively late stage.
Put the panties back in, cowards.
Full artwork and stats. There's a pair of wider deathbed set found in the game, another piece in the same set, a deathbed dress, and now the deathbed smalls, just some little panties. I just think that that's really funny. They weren't supposed to be in the game at this point. They found it within the code, and if it exists, the people will find it, and I love that. So the only way of getting the smalls for yourself is to play the PC version of Elden Ring offline and use Cheat Engine to give yourself the item with an item ID.
Apparently, these are Fia's panties. Fia's outfit is attainable through normal, like you can play and get like all of Fia's outfit.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is Fia's underwear, and it was apparently cut from the game.
I can see why.
If you're looking to really complete that Fia set,
offline, Cheat Engine, item ID, boom.
There you go. Get yourself those undies.
But does it matter what gender to wear them? I hope not.
No, you can wear it. I think you can wear anything in Elden Ring.
I don't know of gender locked things in Elden Ring, but I'm not sure yet.
I think you just wear everything. Wear everything twice.
Yeah, I have actually no idea.
I gotta play more Elden Ring.
Have you played any more since we last talked?
No.
None?
I don't know what I've been doing, Saige.
Oh, right. You can't remember anything you've done.
I don't know anything I've been doing.
In some South by Southwest news, continued trash.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Zuckerberg said NFTs are coming to Instagram. I'm not surprised, I guess. Like, A, who has good expectations of Mark Zuckerberg, and B, who has good expectations of Instagram, right? We've already gotten NFTs on Twitter. We've seen them, potentially to be integrated into Discord. Unfortunately, it's everywhere, y'all.
Listen, Meta is nothing, and especially the metaverse, which they stole from us, is just a fucking online store.
Yeah.
It's just an online ad farm and fucking store to sell digital garbage that doesn't mean anything. And so why wouldn't they bring the digital garbage to every single fucking part of their company?
I already hate having to be on Instagram.
I was thinking the other day, like I was telling you about this, and this sounds so much like Old Man Yells at Cloud, but like, do you see any photography on Instagram anymore? Do you see like any fucking photography?
I mean, I don't follow a lot of photographers.
I see like a lot of pictures of my friends and what my friends are doing sometimes when it's not busy showing me like targeted advertising and memes. Mm-hmm. But I don't see like any fucking photographs anymore.
I unfollowed all my meme pages because Instagram meme pages are not by any means the toppest tier of memes. So mostly I see my friends and artists now. I follow a lot of artists on Instagram and I see them a lot.
Dude, if it algorithmically just pushes every real fucking photo or real piece of art just down to the farthest part of my feed.
Interesting.
It's just like, hey, look at all this trash.
Yeah.
Please enjoy the trash.
Yeah. I feel like the reports of South by Southwest are unfortunately going to be a cesspool of NFT announcements. So I don't look forward to the recap of South by Southwest by any means, because I think that that's going to be a large fucking trash portion of it.
I just, man, where does one go online? Where does one go online these days?
To not see an NFT?
To not see an NFT, or just to get some good old classic internet vibes. Where do you go?
You don't.
You don't.
They
ding dang took it from us. They ding dang took it from us, Saige. Give it back.
It's the NFT's fault. Right-click them all. We forgot to cover this at the beginning of the show. Halo series creator has been talking a bunch about the Halo series, as we have. Mm-hmm. And it would appear it's not going to work in the time that you're playing in Halo.
They're calling it the Silver Timeline. It is a slightly different timeline from the one in the games, and it is set in a time where Master Chief, at the time of Combat Evolved, the original Halo, is not the last Spartan. He has a group of Spartan pals that he's hanging out with, doing Spartan stuff with, just Spartan things.
Spartan around.
That's one of the Twitter accounts that I follow, is just Spartan things.
Yeah, of course.
That's
what's in your Instagram feed instead of art.
Yeah, just Spartan things. Mm-hmm. Things in my Mjolnir armor that just make sense. So this is an entirely new timeline, which is kind of interesting. It's sort of a J.J. Abrams Star Trek sort of way to go, which makes sense since it's coming from Paramount.
Yeah.
Where, we were a little weirded out by the fact that Johnny Spartan's going to take his hat off. Don't take your hat off, Johnny Spartan.
I'm like, take your hat off. You got to take your hat off.
But eventually, it's a TV show.
You have to take your hat off.
Got to take his hat off. So
it's like Mando.
So listen, this is not the Johnny Spartan in the video game. You don't have to worry that this Johnny Spartan, no matter how he looks or sounds or whatever, is not your precious boy who sells Pringles.
Right.
He's a different boy.
He's a different guy. Honestly, I think doing it in something like an alternate timeline preserves Halo very well as well, where they can make choices that make sense for a narrative show that wouldn't necessarily make sense in a game without people being like, but that's not how that went. That's not how it went when I played the game. That's not how it worked. And getting real mad about it. And they're like, but it is how it worked in this timeline.
I loved the J.J. Abrams Star Trek where they have Leonard Nimoy Spock meet J.J. Abrams Spock and go like, no, it's cool, man. It's a different universe, and they basically looked at the camera and shook hands and said, "Nobody be mad at J.J. Abrams."
Yeah,
smart move. They didn't pull it off the best, but it was a smart move. One thing from this interview that I want to talk about,
and it's a great interview with Polygon,
is the Chevy Tahoe.
Go on.
There was in the Super Bowl spot a Chevy Tahoe in the background of a shot that everybody was like, how the hell did you let that Chevy Tahoe slip? It's a 2001 Chevy Tahoe. Here we go. And it was just there. It was just there in a space.
Just a truck.
There it is. Just a regular ass Chevy Tahoe. And people were like, the fuck is that doing there? How did you miss that? And bless her patient heart, Kiki Wolfkill, who has been answering all the Halo questions since the dawn of time, was like, yo, I come from games. We come from games where people are going to watch your trailer frame by frame the moment after it comes out, and they're going to catch everything. Do you think we don't know a Chevy Tahoe is there? Do you think that Chevy Tahoe is not there for a reason? Come on.
What could be the reason for a Chevy Tahoe?
A 2001 Chevy Tahoe. I don't know. I'm thinking alternate timeline, maybe alternate reality. Maybe there's some real fucky time stuff going on.
Maybe they're leaving some more relics of
or it's like
just human life.
The end of humanity. This is what it was like. The humanity peaked at the 2001 Chevy Tahoe.
The pinnacle of man.
Oh, the cup holders. The amount of cup holders in the warm leather seats.
You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looked like.
That's the Chevy Tahoe, baby. The only car tough enough for Jonathan Q. Spartan, who only rides warthogs and missiles. Do you remember at the end? Was it Halo 2 or 3 where he fucking Dr. Strangelove's down on a literal bomb, where he rides it like a bomb, like Dr. Strangelove? Was that 2? Fuck that shit.
Chat will be able to answer that.
That was so dumb.
And the last piece of news, it's not really our kind of news, but I find it really interesting because I lost an hour of sleep a couple nights ago.
Daylight savings time is changing. A lot of you have been very confused by the streams, who are especially in other countries, about why the fuck all the streams were an hour earlier for y'all.
It's because we still follow an antiquated practice that people will tell you was made for farmers. People will tell you it was made for a bunch of different... It was just made In the 1800s, they just made it. It started in England. It's called daylight savings time. And the fuck part of it is it's just like, well, we think it's healthier if people get the sunrise earlier. What? So when it turns into a winter, we're just going to change what time the sunrise. What? We spring forward, we fall back. It's fucked up, and it's incredibly bad for your health. In all honesty, losing an hour of sleep in a night takes literally, they found out that biologically it takes a couple weeks of good sleep to bounce back from that.
And I haven't gotten any good sleep since then.
Not even when you huff those fumes?
No, I've been having carbon monoxide poisoning dreams. It makes your nightmares really fucky.
So,
not dreams about carbon monoxide, just affected by.
Yeah, so it's been the bane of everyone's existence. Some of the country doesn't even fuck with it. Arizona famously said, fuck you. Why would we do this?
Some can just say no. But here's what I found most interesting about this, Anthony. So this tweet from the U.S. Senate Majority Floor Update said, passed the Sunshine Protection Act to make daylight savings time permanent. But look at this first reply. By @SaveStandard, which is Save Standard Time on Twitter, said permanent DST has repeatedly failed before with loss of life. We need permanent standard time.
So to let y'all know what this means that the Senate has unanimously voted that we're never going to change our clocks again, and we've decided that
we're staying at this one.
We're staying at savings time. Savings time is in the winter. That means the sun comes up earlier, but it gets darker extremely early.
Which I don't like.
I think it's the worst one. And it's actually, that person is, they're being hyperbolic, but it is the truth. Mm-hmm. Doing that actually means that people overall get less sun in their lives because of work hours, school hours, things like that. And it actually really fucks with people's circadian rhythms. It fucks.
So why the fuck did we decide on daylight savings time as the permanent?
Capitalism.
How does that help capitalism? Because, like, look, thinking about it this way, right? When it gets dark at 5 p.m., I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I was going to go to the store tonight. I can't do it. It's dark out now. I'm not. It's too late now.
It gets everybody up and working during sunshine hours. It gets everybody up and working earlier. It keeps kids going to school earlier during times when people, when the real workers need the sunshine to use it for labor. It's fucked. It's extremely fucked.
Yeah, I don't get it. But also that's such a dramatic tweet.
The real workers. The blue collars of America.
Save standard time.
The fucking wage slaves.
Like, I'm happy to not be adjusting clocks anymore. I am happy it's not changing. I don't want to set clocks back and forth. That's fuck.
I'm glad that it's at least consistent throughout the year. I'm a brighter earlier person, I think. I can't get up. I can, but it's easier for me when there's sunlight.
Interesting.
Like, I have a much easier time getting up for the show right now.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, sometimes we get up for the show in the dark. And that is a little tough. But
and it's rough. It's super rough. But this sucks. We need sunshine during our free hours. We really do.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, savings means, I don't know. And here's the thing, it's all fucked and everybody's confused about it and nobody understands how it works and it shouldn't have been a thing anyway.
Never should have been a thing.
It never should have been a thing. It was all a lie to begin with. It was all a lie to begin with. I'm just glad it's gone.
More light year round to take effect next year. Daylight savings.
I mean, there's no more or less light.
I mean, in the hours you're awake.
Yeah.
In the hours you're awake. That's what they're saying. You know it. You get it.
No, yeah. But I mean, like, it's just weird because talking about it just becomes like real fucky sounding no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad it's gone. Do other countries do daylight savings?
Other countries do, but not all.
Not a lot. Very few. Mm-hmm. Very few do it. People are like, is it gone? It's not gone yet. They just voted it through the Senate. It's got to pass the House. Mm-hmm. And the idea is this will end next year. They just voted to eradicate.
But it was unanimous thus far. So
because everybody agrees that it's fucky.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees that it's fucky.
I don't know which one's which anymore.
I like man, everybody's like, yeah, it's real fucky. Let me tell you.
That's what we get for covering one real piece of news.
Here's what we do. We don't do it anymore. We don't do it anymore. And that's all I care about. Although I will miss, do you know what I used to love?
What?
I used to love that one night where it's fall back and you'd be like at a bar and it would be like closing time and they'd set the clock back and they'd be like, 1 more hour. And everybody would be like, fuck yeah. Like you're
in my life.
Like you're at a bar or a club and like everybody's like dancing. It's like, well, this is when we're shutting it down, except we have 1 more hour. And like,
never in my life.
You've
Not
never
once.
done that?
Not once.
It's fucking rad.
I'll try to time it up for the last
rad.
one.
But I'll tell you what, it sucks being at the bar the other way or being at the club the other way where it's like, I'm just getting started. And they're like, no, you're not. You're done.
We're going home. I wonder if it'll still be the same because in theory, in Los Angeles County, post Pantera restrictions, things can be open until 3. We extended bar time to 3 a.m.
Yeah, but that doesn't...
I mean, you still get another hour, but it's not like right when it would be closing. Because typically bars close at 2 and clocks also set at 2.
Yeah. I mean, in New York, it closed at 4.
Yeah.
New York was 4, but it was still like, we're setting it back. And we'd be like, yeah, it's honestly going to be 6 a.m. by the time we leave.
I'm already tired.
We're going to die.
No, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll go home.
But, you know, of course, the other way, the spring forward is way better when you are the server or the bartender, because I've been on both sides of the bar for that one.
Yeah.
Where it's just like 1 more hour and you're like, 1 more hour.
Otherwise it's like, ooh, I guess it's time for you guys to get out of here. Clock's just changed. All right, everybody, that is all the show that we have time for today. Nothing makes sense. Time isn't real.
Time isn't real. The only time that you need to be worried about is 8 a.m.
Which is exactly when we start this show. And if it isn't 8 a.m. when we start the show, that's incorrect. It was 8 a.m. Check your clocks. I don't know. Maybe they needed to be set back or something.
Why did you not clock the right way? Is what we say.
Why'd you clock wrong? It's open already.
Oh, great. Great.
Bam. Bam, bam, bam.
So anyway, yeah, that is the end of the show for today. Saige.
Yes.
After all this is said and done.
Yes.
This show of ours. Where you go? What do you do?
Excellent question. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, so I will be live tonight. You can also find me on Smosh Games, the D&D channel, and on this channel right damn here all the damn time, including Monday, Wednesday, and Friday twice for Failed Save. What about you, Anthony?
Oh, my stars and garters. Well, I am also here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and here twice on Fridays for Failed Save, our live D&D 5e show, which is very good, and you should be watching it.
True.
I also am everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. And, of course, every Friday, you can catch a new episode of my science comedy podcast with Jeff Canada, We Have Concerns, at wehaveconcerns.com. It's very, very good. Oh, thank you, Tarsier Audacity, saying, having fun listening to We Have Concerns. It's a good show. There, I said it.
Nice.
Hey, everyone, we want to thank the people that so kindly and so generously gave us their money.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for your money. We, of course, are an independent network, and we are independent people.
Just sitting in a shed.
Just sitting in a shed doing things. So we want to thank everybody for supporting the network and us. Of course, donations go straight to us so we can have a little sugar breakfast. And then, of course, your subscriptions, your Patreon memberships, all of those things go directly to supporting the network and all the things we need for the network. Let's go ahead and give some thank yous to everybody who supported us today. First of all, we got Dweeblaws with the gift sub. We've got Zamino with a very generous tip saying, you survived the Ides of March. How do you know that we were not the ones that betrayed?
Thanks.
Deft Juz, thank you for the 9-month subscription. That's a good chunk of time. Thank you very much. I think you might like us. We got an anonymous tip. It was probably the Batman of Gotham. G-Rex13 with the 13-month sub saying lucky number 13 hype. That's what we call a Pixel Circus year, baby. King Sassafras with the gift sub. Self-aware can opener with the resub for 18 months. Good Lord. That's so much time. King Sassafras with 2 months saying, holy cheese, has it really been 2 months already? Good thing I got my official, unofficial name tag then. Man, drop the name tag. Drop where you got the name tag in the chat. Danny Boy's calling pipes. 6-month streak. That's a good chunk of time. Thank you so much. BL4 Met, thank you for 10 months. Got an anonymous tip for $20. Thank you so much for that. Thank everybody. Thank you all for your generosity, but also thank everybody who is generous to you. Thank everyone.
That's what we're saying. Hey, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, both individually and at the Pixel Circus on Twitter. There's a bunch of cool updates that have been coming out right over there, and some new ones coming this week.
Thank everybody.
Big stuff, everybody. We love you all so very much. You are wonderful. Thank you for starting your morning with us. We owe you 2 clips on Patreon this week. They'll probably both be coming on Friday.
Yeah.
And we will see you on Friday.
Bye, BBs.